Hello, my name is Dr. Monica Lugo Velez, and my talk is Trophy Food Gastrotourism and Culinary Authenticity in Puerto Rico. So right now on screen, you can see a selection of drinks. Among them, there's coquito or Puerto Rican eggnog. There's also piña colada. There's guarapo, which is liquid sugar cane, and pitorro, which is Puerto Rican moonshine. Now, if I ask you to guess which one of these drinks is the national drink of Puerto Rico, you might not choose piña colada. However, the piña colada is the national drink of Puerto Rico. And the history of the piña colada as the national drink of Puerto Rico has a fascinating and controversial origin. Three barmen that work in different hotels argued that they were the creators of the refreshing drink. Interestingly, all three barmen say that they were asked by the hotel managers to create a cold tropical drink for the tourists. The drink was conceived as a marketing tool for tourists to savor the authentic flavors of the Caribbean paradise. This talk discusses how gastrotourism campaigns build and sell what is authentic Puerto Rican food, or in this case, drink, to a foreign audience. Using the example of the piña colada, I examined the visual representations and composition of the ads on the virtual pages of the official tourism agency of Puerto Rico. The objective is to demonstrate the inherent contradictions found in the official discourses of the tourist propaganda and their interest in selling a mediated idea of Puerto Rico and thus prolonging the myth of the paradise. The tourism industry uses the national brand to promote the country's idealization to attract visitors, investment capital, and increase exports. The Puerto Rican national brand revolves around the image of the Caribbean paradise, and the writer Edward Glissant explained that the Caribbean islands were part of the persistent myth of the paradise, despite being destined to be unstable spaces due to their own reality. The myth of the paradise has encouraged the Caribbean islands to be considered one of the world's leading tourist destinations since the mid-20th century. Gastronomy, without a doubt, completes the panorama of the paradise representation with which the Caribbean is associated. Puerto Rico's tourism industry has created authentic experiences in which visitors consume mediated versions of culinary products. The Puerto Rican Tourism Company presents the piña colada as a way of life, an integral part of the cultural identity. In fact, in this image, the map of Puerto Rico suggests that piña colada consumption is not limited to places with high tourist density. As a result, the tourist perceives that the drink is an authentic product. This image also includes the colada culture hashtag, which tries to sell the idea that the consumption of the piña colada is part of the authentic cultural practices of Puerto Rican. Gillian Rose explains that, and I quote, all these different sorts of technologies and images offer views of the world. They render the world in visual terms. However, this rendering, even by photographs, is never innocent. These images are never transparent windows onto the world. In other words, the images are part of the visual discourse that tries to persuade the consumer about a vision of reality that is not necessarily true. The hashtag Colada culture is an essential part of the island's marketing strategy because it offers tourists a supposedly authentic and at the same time collective experience. The collective aspect is that through the hashtag, other travelers can share their tourist experience through different social networks, creating a sense of an authentic experience, but that in reality too has been mediated by the tourism industry. The images that share the same hashtag create a digital album where the same users mediate a visual discourse. Likewise, the popularity of colada culture promotes the idea that tourists participate in a gastronomic trend. However, it is worth mentioning that despite the Colada culture hashtag integration as part of the tourism campaign, it has not acquired vast reach and popularity among tourists who are Instagram's users. In conclusion, the example of the piña colada uncovers how the gastrotourism campaigns build and sell what is considered Puerto Rican food to a foreign audience. Marketing campaigns in the tourism sector use photos to reimagine cultural practices and label them as authentic to reinforce a national brand. In this sense, the gastronomic advertisement persuade tourists to still consume the Caribbean myth. Thank you so much for your attention.